All right, so we're live. Throughout the next hour, we will be using the audience Q&A feature on slides to collect all of the questions you may have. Please throw in all of your questions on the page linked at the top of the screen, and we will be monitoring the questions throughout the event. At the end of the presentation, we'll review the questions on the page and we'll answer the popular ones that stand out. On behalf of the Google for Education team, we'd like to say congratulations and welcome to the Google for Education Certified Trainer Program. Thank you for all your hard work and all that you put in to be a part of this growing program. We're very excited about this program because we truly believe that trainers are the catalyst for getting more educators inspired and empowered to use technology in the classroom. We onboarded 154 certified trainers into the program this quarter, so you all are truly joining a global group of certified trainers. We have 118 from the US and 36 from international, coming from Australia, Canada, Denmark, Egypt, Germany, Hong Kong, Ireland, Italy, Mexico, New Zealand, Oman, the, the Philippines, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, the Netherlands, the UK. So welcome to all of those who are tuning in outside of the US. This Hangout is set up specifically for you guys, our Q1 2017 certified trainers, to get more familiar with the community and meet a few Googlers and featured certified trainers. We will introduce the Google team in Mountain View, and then we'll introduce our featured certified trainers who are joining us in this call. I will talk about the background and history of the program, and then we'll dig deeper into the meat and potatoes of this program by speaking about the trainer site navigation, the Getting Started guide, and certified trainer expectations and requirements. I'll highlight some popular topics and questions already in the Google group. For example, the Google for EDU Community Leader Directory, trainer domains, and the new EDU activity app. Soon after, David will talk about the benefits and future of the program. And then we'll bring out our featured certified trainers and have them speak about their experiences being in the program and words of wisdom they have for you all. Finally, we'll end off with a question and answer portion led by the Googlers. And again, we'll be using the audience Q&A feature on slides to collect all questions. Please throw in all of your questions at the page linked at the top of the screen, and at the end, we'll try to answer all of them. So let's get right into it. We have two Googlers from Mountain View here. We have David Chen, who is a Education International Program Manager, and myself, Justin LeCap, an Education Community Manager. We'll be your go-to Googler contacts if you have any help and can't find the answers on the private trainer site or group. Also here with us, we have Crystal Ho, a technology integration specialist, Louis Schenefeld, digital learning resource teacher, and Jessica Falco, digital learning specialist. Google for Education certified trainers train and develop educators to reach their full potential. They are passionate and creative individuals who provide professional development and other support services to educators and schools. Certified trainers train and develop educators to redefine teaching and learning with technology. This past September, our team worked on revamping the program. It was about a 6-month project to find and attract qualified certified trainers like yourselves, we came up with a new value proposition, and we encourage you to spread this out to your colleagues who might be a good fit for this program. You can find everything you need to know on the Certified Trainer private trainer site. This URL was given to you in your acceptance and onboarding email. On this trainer site, you can view the Getting Started guide under the Home tab. The Getting Started guide consists of 6 steps that will help you become an outstanding trainer. In case you haven't completed these 6 steps yet, we'll go ahead and dig in to explain each step. Step 1, re- review program guidelines. This 5-page document gives you the whole scoop of the program. It lists the program overview and expectations, which is what we expect out of you as a trainer. This includes submitting training sessions, staying up to date with the latest features, and participating in the community. We'll talk more about your expectations as a certified trainer later on during this hangout. It also lists the program policies that outline some standards you need to upkeep as a representative of Google. And lastly, we mention what happens if you fail to abide to the program guidelines. Step 2, read badge and logo guidelines and download them. This document on the private trainer resource site will show you what you could do, what you must do, and what you agree you will not do with a trainer badge. This document is extremely important as you'll want to be very careful with how you use this badge. Step 3, read branding guidelines. These guidelines directly point out what to do with the Google for Education Certified Trainer brand, Google brand, and Google trademarks. Google is serious about our brand. All of our brand features are protected by applicable trademark, copyright, and other intellectual property laws. Please ensure that you're using the correct brand in your work. Step 4, get listed in the trainer directory. Google for Education has launched our online directory that will feature profiles for all for Education certified innovators, Google for Education certified trainers, and partners. This will be an excellent resource for trainers, schools, potential employers, and and others within the Google community who want to connect with local Google for Education certified trainers. If you would like to be featured on it, please fill out the fields provided in this form. Your most updated contact information is necessary in order for others to find you. Also note that we update this resource every 2 to 3 weeks. If you do not see your updates reflected online, it means that something went wrong and you'll need to fill out the form again in its entirety. Please also note that all fields need to be populated for all information to be reflected online. Post an intro on the forum. Introduce yourself to the Google for Education trainers group. This is a step I've seen many of you already have done. This is a great way to get yourself out out to the group and tell all 2,000 trainers about about yourself. This is the same group where you can communicate easily with other trainers and share resources with each other. Step 6, steps to a Google Apps training domain. We can upgrade your training domain to a G Suite for Education, G Suite domain. This will allow you to have a separate domain for demos and training purposes. The page on the trainer site has very specific and detailed steps you'll need to take to successfully have your domain set up online. This step, the step that many of you stumble on, is the verification phase. All domains must be verified by Google before our teams upgrades your training domain to G Suite. Note that this is not a requirement for trainers. This is just one of the many perks this program has. Getting started is the first step. As a reminder, in order to maintain your trainer status, you will need to complete some yearly requirements. We highly recommend tracking your submissions throughout the year to make sure that you're on track to recertify as a trainer for the next year. You don't have to resubmit a formal application or training videos, but here are the activities we expect of you as a trainer to keep your badge. The first step is submitting a minimum of 12 training sessions per year, which amounts to approximately 3 sessions per quarter. You'll be recording all training sessions on the new EDU activity app. You all should have already received access to this new app earlier today, and if you haven't, please go to the official trainer site, click on Tools and Resources, and then go to the EDU Activity App page and fill out the form linked on that page to get access. The second is submitting one resource on the trainer resource folder each year. We truly believe in the power of collaboration and hope to build a community of trainers that work together, share ideas and best practices, and overall contributes to the greater mission of getting more people inspired and empowered to use Google tools. Resources are available on the private trainer site, and you can submit your shared resource in the Google for Education Certified Trainer Shared Resource Database, which is a resource that a current certified trainer, James Peterson, created. Finally, we will send out a recertification product update exam to ensure that you're all up to date with our products. It will be a lot easier for you if you're continually meeting your requirements throughout the year so that you don't have to rush to submit the correct information at the end of the year. If you are still unclear about recertification, don't worry. We will be sending out a detailed email listing all of these points before the holiday season. Recertification will happen throughout the first quarter of 2018. As I mentioned, the EDU Activity app is where you'll be recording all of your training sessions in order to get credit for recertification. Our other Google for Education community leaders also use this app to report their activity. Innovators, GG leaders and groups, and PD partners. If you're still having issues accessing the app, please go to the EDU Activity app page on the private trainer site where you can find a link to the Help Center.
Hi trainers, this is David. I'm the program manager here, Certified Trainer Program. Once you guys get set up and going through some of the onboarding steps to become a certified trainer, that's when the fun starts. And we really started to think about some of the things that you can do to have an impact when you're in the program. Now, there is no prescription and there's no one way to make the best out of your membership, and I think our certified trainers will tell you that themselves. But here are some of the common activities that we've seen certified trainers conduct over the course of their membership. The first thing that they do, most obvious, and I think why we're all here, is coaching teachers to integrate the tools. We have a pretty robust set of curriculum online at the training center organized around teacher use case, and we'd love obviously for certified trainers to supplement and use those use cases and to help teachers integrate the tools in the classroom. I know that's what you guys are best at. Secondly, certifying educators. It's really what we really found is that educators who do get certified on our tools end up having some of the strongest usage amongst teachers. Meaning, how do you know when someone really knows the tools well? They become either a level 1 or level 2 certified educator. So if you're looking for a way to measure your training efficacy and measuring the extent to which your trainee has learned how to use these tools, level 1 and level 2 are pretty solid benchmarks for that, and we encourage you guys to certify your teachers. And lastly, training the trainer is such an important way of building capacity in your school districts. I've spoken to trainers, and sometimes they've said, I just wish that there was at least 10 more of me at my district. Now, we really think that there's a great opportunity to do that. In the Certified Trainer website, you'll be able to find a Train the Trainer plan that we've put together for you to be able to build capacity and train other teachers and coaches at your school to also become certified trainers. We really look forward to seeing some of your friends and colleagues apply into the program in the next few months. Speaking of bringing in more of your colleagues and friends, we have a form on the Certified Trainer website to help you nominate someone that you think would be a great candidate for the program. Now, this is our real major push to drive certified trainers in the program because we really don't think that there's a better source of certified trainers than our current pool. So we know that you work regularly with colleagues and instructional coaches and digital technology specialists, and maybe they're considering applying to the program. Well, if you nominate them into the program, we will pay it forward, and not only will we share what you've said about your colleagues, so they'll have some sense of appreciation, but we'll also offer them a free trainer skills assessment voucher. They'll be able to take that required assessment for free once they do get nominated. So please, get some of your friends in the program as well through this form. As mentioned, once you're in the program, the purpose of our membership benefits are to empower you, to make sure that you are feeling equipped, confident and comfortable to do even more and even better training than you were doing before. And hopefully that is your aims as well as being a part of this official community. You'll see the benefits listed above, and I think some of the ones that are the most powerful from what we've heard are being able to have the digital badge that you can put in your email. So we highly encourage you to put that in your signature, and also to be able to provision your demo domain so that you don't have to mix up your work account with your demo account. And then, of course, I think the most valuable resource and the most valuable benefit is belonging to this new personal learning network, this community. Many of you have probably gone into the discussion group by now and seen how active it is and how many great ideas and how supportive it is. And that is just amazing testament to the collaborative nature of all the certified trainers. So please do reach out to each other, form connections, form relationships. At the very least, you'll have a couch to sleep on if you visit another city. And to touch on a little bit more where this program is headed, it's pretty simple in my head. And the vision for this trainer program is to really do three things. One, to continue recruiting and finding the best instructional technology coaches out there. I saw a recent statistic that there's about 100,000 instructional technology coaches out there in the United States, growing from 80,000 over 2 years ago. So you can see how many districts now are bringing more of these folks, and we continue to expect a lot more districts hiring instructional technology coaches. So we obviously want as the pace of adoption of G Suite increases, to have also new trainers as well to be able to support teachers real time and on demand. Secondly, happier trainers, and this is something that Justin and I work on a daily basis, which is to remove the barriers for you to do your training, meaning be as supportive as we can in helping you figure out where to train, who to train, giving you the resources that you need to train. And we're very open to feedback to understand what you need to become a better trainer. And we have a number of activities as well that we put on throughout the year, from our monthly hangouts that we host around kind of key topics and key product updates, to actually in-person events that we do, such as the one coming up at ISTE in San Antonio, where we have a trainer mixer for you guys to all get to know each other in person. So we want to make sure that this program stays to be a positive experience for you. And then lastly, more impactful trainers. This is along the lines of really trying to ensure that at the end of the day, teachers are really benefiting from the work that we all do together. This program's measurement, if you will, is the comfort level and like the learning and the aptitude that happens once a certified trainer works with a teacher. And I know many of you guys are already doing an amazing job here, and we really hope that once you're in the program, there's an even bigger boost, an incremental, improvement in how much more teachers are able and willing to use our tools. So these are generally the 3 buckets that we kind of work towards here at Google on this team to think about how we support this trainer program. So what we'll do now is we'll switch a little bit of gears, and we'll introduce our 3 certified trainers that have graciously agreed to join us on a panel discussion. I'll let each one of them introduce themselves and talk to them a little bit about what motivated them to apply to the program, and what they're currently working on today. And then I'll open it up for a moderated discussion. So with that, Crystal, why don't you kick it off?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Congratulations. That's a very exciting entry into trainers in our world. More people to connect with, of course. So I live in the Boston area, and I am one of the tech coordinators over in Hopkinton, where the Boston Marathon starts, which is a pretty amazing school to work at. We're a 1-to-1 district, and I started actually my Google world when I was teaching French prior to that, and I was looking for collaborative tools, things that are easy for me to use and easy for my students to save and teach them, etc. And I was trying to teach them in French, of course, which was fun. But then when I switched over to the tech coordinator role, I get to help my students and my teachers and my admin staff. So I'm constantly working with them all day long in my district. It's pretty amazing. I would suggest things to always do is stay connected. So whatever school you travel to or whoever's in your community at this point, always stay connected and try to add more to your professional or personal learning network, because that's always helped me when I've been asking questions that I don't know the answers to, because that's where I usually started at. I didn't know the answers, and I was able to connect in all these different communities like Twitter and our Google community and our Google groups to ask those questions. So that's where I'll leave off right now.
Thank you, Crystal. Lewis, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, welcome everybody to the Google Certified Trainer Program. So I don't want to step on toes or repeat a bunch of things that David and Justin did so well explaining, but I've only been a certified trainer for approximately 2 months. However, I've been training doing professional development at my district. I work in Orange County, Florida, the house where the mouse is here in Orlando. And we are responsible for training approximately 14,000 teachers in our district. And we have 200,000 plus students. So it's the 10th largest district in the nation. And it's pretty overwhelming. There's only 5 of us. Sorry. So one of the things that we are doing in our district is we are trying to basically roll out professional development for Google since we've adopted Google. And we had a huge bake-off last year. They called it a bake-off between the counterpart to Google, I won't mention, and Google themselves, and Google won out. And our responsibility now in our district is to bring about a culture change, really, and to try and get people to implement technology. We have devices in the hands of over 80,000 students right now. So to think of that on the scale of there's only 5 teachers that support 80,000 plus devices, it's pretty overwhelming. So I'm thrilled to be a certified trainer, and I think it brings a certain level of credibility when I do my PD. So, you know, David mentioned and Justin mentioned so well about the training domains, being listed in the EDU directory, being some of the first to be able to trial, to be, to be, basically given the opportunity to try out new products that Google's going to push out. So that part's extremely exciting. And then I think, as Crystal said, to piggyback on her, is to stay connected. And some people might be a little afraid of Twitter, but we try and push social media because there's all sorts of wonderful things on Twitter, PD-wise, that can really benefit teachers and students for that matter. And as much emails as we get with the Google groups, I would encourage you not to turn off those email updates, because I've learned a lot just from listening, and I've chimed in from time to time when I think I know the answer to help others. But I think the ability to be able to collaborate with other trainers is, well, it really speaks to Google. That's kind of why we adopted it, is the collaboration piece. So to be able to collaborate with others and then to be able to collaborate with trainers now is just an added bonus. So I'll kick it over to Jessica. She can piggyback off us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Falco, and I also am from Florida. I'm South Florida, though. I work in a little school district, Martin County, and I have been an educator for 11 years. And our district, 3 years ago, we piloted Google, and I was one of the first teachers to get to use it. So it was very exciting to try out, and I just fell in love with it. I am now the one and only district trainer for technology. We have 20,000 kids and 1,350 teachers. So it's been a fun job. I've been at it almost a year, and just like Lewis, I am only a Google trainer for 2 months. What drew me to being a trainer was the fact that there were so many amazing things that I was able to do in the classroom, and I just wanted to do more. And when I got out of the classroom, I realized that becoming a trainer, I'll have open access to all the different trainers all over the world, and I'll be able to just share and create more and actually get more teachers into becoming trainers as well. So it's been definitely an exciting journey so far, and I've already got things in place. So I really, really highly recommend Twitter. Kind of just piggybacking off of what both Crystal and Lewis said, Twitter has been amazing. And also, you do get a ton of emails, but I have daily notifications because I have learned more in 2 months from the people, the other trainers who are willing to share. So it's been something that's been really great. And David and Justin are absolutely, they're helpful. I contacted him and I had a question about, how to start this and how to make this work. And he and I had a Google Hangout, and now I've put into place something. So we're not as big as Orange County, but we're kind of plugging away with Google down here too. So it's
awesome.
Nice to meet everybody, and congratulations with becoming a trainer.
Thank you guys three so much. And I think one thing that you all three of you have in common here is how much you've gotten from the program and how much you're doing now that you're in the program. And it comes from both a personal and a professional growth opportunity that you've seen the Certified Trainer program present. So in that vein, just open it up and thinking, how does this program supported your careers? And how have you guys really, been able to do more in your current roles as a result of being a certified trainer?
I can speak to that first if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
I actually, we have 22 schools in our school district, and becoming a trainer, just like Lewis said, it really gives you, people kind of are like, oh, you're a trainer. And the badge and the email address kind of, gets, people email you like, well, how do you become that? So I've been kind of keeping a list, but now I have actually reached out just from having the badge in my school email. I have 2 teachers from all 20 schools. So I have 40 teachers who are going to work with me in becoming Google Level 1 certified and Google Level 2 certified. It's kind of like a little cohort. So I've been developing some training modules within my own G Suite, which is amazing to have because I can separate myself from my school account and my G Trainer account. And we get together once a month, and we've just really started it. But professionally, it's just kind of putting myself out there. The teachers so far love it. They're like, oh my gosh, having the Google training element, and then also having a scenario that I create to have them kind of work through it helps. And my name has been in the Edu directory for 2 months, and I've already gotten 2 calls from school districts asking for help. So that was really, really great. And the passion that we have for this, and that all the trainers that are watching this have, it's showcased in what you do. And so the Edu directory does work, and it's just the little things like the badges that really help. So professionally, I'm doing summer trainings. I have 1 training a week for Google and the different Google tools, and the G Trainer group that you're going to be part of is amazing for ideas and inspiration. I think short of awesome so far.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Okay. So I started off just training people right within our district at my previous district in Franklin. So I was teaching people next to me. I was doing professional development for our staff. And then when I started to love working with the products, I was like, I just need to do this full time. I love doing it. So that's why I switched into my role for tech coordinator, which I still love doing. It's always fun, and there's new excitement every day. I remember going to the big conferences around our region, and I was like, I'm never going to be one of those people up there. That's terrifying. And now I am one of those people, and it freaks me out still. But I love it. So I love presenting and sharing what we do in our district and what our teachers do, because our students are amazing. So I get to share that with other districts at those big conferences, like the Q conferences in ISTE and such. And the Google Summits. Other things that I really love just sharing, like you were saying, is just working with our region and the different schools. We do a lot of summer training, so you can connect with all of us on that website in the directory. And there's so many different levels. I mean, you can have the trainer level and just go teach them the Google apps, or if you become an innovator too, and I know that's a different badge, but you can really explore new options for those schools. And so there's so many options of what you're passionate about. And so that's what I love about just the different badges that you can get, like the innovator and the trainer.
Yeah, they kind of took some of my thunder there for sure, but I'll add a little bit. I think that getting the level 1 and the level 2 certification was great, but it didn't really hit home for me and really feel like I could make an impact until I had that trainer badge. So that's why we were excited to come here and meet with you all and congratulate you on what you've accomplished as well. Because as I stated before, I think if, for my job and me standing up there and I'm talking and talking and talking about Google all the time and how we need to build capacity through schools, and we do use the train the trainer module that Justin and David alluded to, that we want to have credibility. And I think by having those badges and being able to speak to our expertise and be able to, at least if we don't know the answer, to have the community and the resources to reach out. So that's just been, outstanding. And like Jessica said, I'm still only 2 months in this, but I've learned an awful lot. And I told you I work with a team of 4 other people. It's a team of 5. And we all kind of motivated each other, and all 5 of us are now Google certified trainers. So when we do PD, we work with different years in the cohort. So we have schools that have been one-to-one for 4 years now, and then we have schools that we're bringing aboard next year. So part of our PD is to do Google training throughout the years and to introduce new products. So we want to be experts in the things we do, and things we aren't necessarily experts in, we at least have the community and the resources to go look up things and to reach out to others to seek advice and provide those answers. So.
That's a great segue, Lewis, into the next question around resources. So we certainly try to make available as many resources as we can for trainers to really help you guys do what you do best. So maybe you guys can talk about some of the, or you can name one or two of like the resources that you have found to be particularly valuable, whether that's some just the benefits, or it could be just stuff that you've gotten from fellow community members in the discussion group. But just name, some of the resources that you would recommend our new trainers taking advantage of.
For me, resources are typically through social media. I love using Twitter and all the hashtags, like for us, the hashtag for GCT or Google CT, Google EDU, the hashtag is really helpful. Obviously, like they were saying, the Google groups, you can filter that so you don't get so many notifications. And even just the Google communities, Google Plus is very helpful because you can join whatever groups you want and then just hop in and ask a question or find information, because a lot of people are just posting lessons or questions online and you can help them.
I think for me, it's Twitter. Definitely huge in Twitter, because if you just go on to those hashtags, like Crystal said, and I'm a fan of Crystal, so this is pretty great. I kind of like try and follow her and see what's going on. So I also think the shared resources that are available in your Google Trainer website that you are brought into, they're amazing. And just some of the things that you wouldn't even think of. And it's just great that people are willing to collaborate and share so freely. And it's something that it just inspires me, because when I talk to the people that I train, it's just like, hey, there are people all over the world and they're not holding it in. They want to share it. So that's been a really great jumping off point. And just the other day, I put a question in the Google group about a journal, what a teacher wanted to do. And I wasn't really sure how to make it all work. I had the components, and within 5 minutes, I think I had 30 responses, and I was able to get that answered. So that was just, it blew me away. These are people from all over the world, and they're just so freely willing to help. I think all the trainers around the world are just excited. We're all in the same boat, and we all worked hard to get where we are. So really reach out to them, and don't be afraid to ask, too many questions, because people are always out there to help, and people have been trainers for a while and using Google for a while. My district has only been using it as a full district now for a year. So getting into it, it's, I knew I'd have questions, but I'm really thankful that there are people out there who are willing to share.
Yeah, same thing for me. Social media, I mentioned before when I first began to speak, and Twitter's been extremely helpful. Just being a part of that Google group. I'll be honest with you, the training domain was very cumbersome for me, because I have a math background. I'm a former classroom teacher. Setting up domains and subdomains was not something that was up my alley. And but I persevered and I worked through it, and I did that by really using the resources that that everyone that's in this Hangout here has alluded to. So I've gone on YouTube and found helpful things from people. I haven't gone, I've actually had the pleasure of, this is my second Hangout today with Justin and David, so I'm extremely fortunate. But I saw the shared resource that was shared earlier in a Hangout for trainers and other participants in Google. And to be honest with you, I'm still new in this group, and I haven't actually gone to the shared resource tab that Justin's given you all access to, or will be here in the coming days. But that Google for Education page that's exclusive to us has been extremely helpful for information and just finding resources and just utilizing things that we now have access to.
Yeah, we hear you on that. One day we'll get the trainer domain down to a science, and until then, just buckle your seatbelts. It might be
Hey, hey,
bumpy road
yeah,
getting that thing.
yeah, David. Let me interject here because I told someone today. I don't know if you saw, because I'm sure you've been swamped, but I'm actually going to create some use Snagit and create some video tutorials, because I'm a huge visual person. And I know there's some great things on YouTube, but if it's not specific to, let's say, GoDaddy, which I know you guys have recommended, or other different website building sites, then you kind of want specific things. And if you need a step-by-step guide, but I plan on working on those videos here shortly, and I'm going to put them up in the Google groups for people. So
I wish I had those. There was a gentleman who really helped. I think all three of us are laughing because we were probably at one point or another, like, I followed everything that they said and I still can't figure it out. And it's like you miss one tiny little redirection, and it really makes me, I feel like it was Chinese or, different language. And I was just, I just couldn't get it. So those videos would be amazing. There are people who have done that. But if it's not GoDaddy or your domain is different, you kind of get lost. But everybody persevered, and that was the longest thread I think I've ever read, but we were all trying to help each other with getting through it. But it is worth it. Just be patient, go back into the, the G trainer group, and just read the threads, because somebody will be able to help you no matter what domain you have. But Lewis, good job on those videos, because they will definitely be worthwhile.
Yeah, Lewis, we'll get those videos up on the internal trainer website too.
Okay.
Get those things posted for all those visual learners out there. All right, before we round out our session with some Q&A, any last words of advice and inspiration for trainers, and how they can be more impactful, and what they really have to look forward to when they're in the program? Just let you guys just jump in there with any thoughts.
What I've noticed that's been most helpful, just training anyone, it doesn't matter what size the crowd is I would start with your own website if possible, even if it's a Google site or whatever you have, with links to Google Docs or slides that you can easily share with that group, because there's a lot of questions that are coming back and forth. And I always share my email and my Twitter feed and whatever when I'm presenting, just because you want to always have that contact so they have someone to come back to for support. So that would be my suggestion, is have a website with all of your information, contact information, and your tutorials, just so they can click through when you're not around.
For me, I think because I'm only 2 months in and it's the beginning, a lot of people had asked about, what do you charge, and how do you do all that? And I'm not really worried about that right now, because I don't think I'm there yet. I think, working within your school district or a small group of people to get out, and train them, and then kind of branch out from there. Like those 2 school districts that contacted me, I thought that was so great. But just feel comfortable, in your own skin with what you're doing. And the website has, having your own website, like a Weebly or a Google site, like Crystal said, really does help, because when you do a training, be it in your school district or somewhere else eventually, to have all of those resources in one spot really gives the participants a feel of, collaboration, and that, okay, you can take what I just did, and then you're actually fostering that collaboration that we're getting as trainers within our Google, that Google discussion group.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Like what Crystal said too, I've never really had much experience building websites, and Google Sites, the new version of it, couldn't be easier. So just don't be afraid to go in and play. Going back to my domain, not to brag about my domain, but even my domain, I redirected this website that I just built, and I figured out how to do that. So while we all might feel like novices in the beginning, I think perseverance would really be beneficial for everybody, and patience. And going back to what David said, I think just staying connected to everybody, and David sounds like he's offering up a futon at his place. If there's any conferences out there in California, And I'm actually hoping to make it out to ISTE, even though I can't afford it. So I'm hoping David's got an apartment out there so I can stay connected to him, and I can maybe get out to ISTE, because I'd love to get out there. And I think my last piece of advice probably would just be to not stop here. I've not applied for it yet, but I don't plan on stopping with the certified trainer. I plan on going for the innovator. You know, I don't have that yet. I don't know what the sequence is and what people usually go for that or acquire that. But I kind of looked at the trainer as step 3 and innovator was step 4, at least in my role as a district resource teacher, because I kind of looked at innovators as being as people more in the classroom, and I'm not really in the classroom anymore. I'm doing classroom walkthroughs and helping and coaching. But I still think that to not stop here, if you guys look into the innovator program, it seems awful neat. And if we have trainers, and I know how special I felt to get the trainer badge, I think innovator would be awful great to pursue also. So
you don't have to be just a teacher; anyone can be in it.
Okay.
I'm going for it too. It's definitely more in depth, but even though I'm a coach, I feel like I can get into all the different levels, and that's going to help me even more with becoming an innovator. So yeah, just it's exciting because the sky's the limit, and Google's all over the world. So
true.
It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And you know, Lewis, you gave me a great business idea. Why don't we start a competitor to Airbnb here, just in the trainer group, right?
Yeah, right.
Everyone will put up their own homes for trainings. So with that, let's just jump into some of the audience questions, and I'll lean on you guys to help us answer some of these as well.
For the ones that we want to.
Oh yeah, there we go. Let's just do that one. All right, so our first question comes from Waleed. Can we, as GETs, issue PD certificates for trainees? Yes, I think, yeah. I mean, so the certificates that I think are issued officially by Google are the level 1, the level 2, the trainer skills assessment, the certified trainer, and the certified innovator. Anything beyond those professional development certifications are kind of up to you to like issue if you have the accrediting body to issue those certifications. However, they cannot be branded as Google for Education certifications. And so if you're looking to offer some type of micro badge or micro credential, I would recommend that you do that, within your own school, using your school's badging or branding guidelines, but you are unable to use the Google for Education badge. Hopefully that answers the question. Cool. I think there's one above here too. Okay. How do I submit trainings within my district? Do in-district trainings count, or must they be out of district? So to submit trainings that you conducted in your district, you can go to the Education Activity app. To answer your question, in-district trainings, of course, they count. I think there's a misconception amongst some trainers that this is a kind of a service. Trainers offer a service on a contract level to districts outside of their own district or to schools outside of their own, school. But actually, most of the training, the bulk of the trainings that certified trainers do are for their own, fellow colleagues, for the other teachers at their school, for the other teachers across their district. So of course, in-district trainings count, and of course, outside district trainings count. And hopefully everyone will find a nice balance of being able to do both. But if you're only able to do one, the in-district, that is perfectly fine as well.
So here the question is from Clinton. I'm listed in the directory, but the picture did not show up. Do I do the form in the entirety? Yes. So if your picture did not show up, that probably means you didn't do the naming conventions right. On the private trainer site on the page that has this form, there's very specific instructions in what you need to do when you upload your photo to the folder. So please make sure you read through that. And then again, fill out the form in its entirety for your picture to show up. Here's a question from Holly. I'm no longer going to be in my current school district as of June 1st. My Google Educator Level 1, 2 exam certificates and trainer skills assessment was taken with that email. How do I change everything to my personal Gmail account? If there are any changes to the information that you sent in the acceptance form while we onboarded you into the program, please email us at gfe-trainer-program@google.com, and we'll be able to update your information on the back end. Adam, there is a Q4 2016 new trainers welcome thread on the group. Do we want to post in that, or will there be a Q1 2017 thread? I believe, well, I think there is a new trainers thread that isn't specific to Q4 2016 or Q1 2017. So for all of you guys who haven't posted an intro, please just use that general one for now. And then all messages on that thread will be shown on top anyway. So people will be able to see your introductions there.
You mentioned some time ago that Q4 thread was going to be deleted. Is that still in the plans, or?
The Q4 2016 Google group has been deleted.
Okay.
As we encourage all the trainers to just be a part of the main certified trainer group.
Gotcha.
That was helpful because we were getting notifications from both. We had the introductions, and now that it's kind of just one, I'm finding I'm getting a lot less. It's less confusing.
Lisa, her question is the nominate a trainer in the Google Training Center for certified trainers or a separate site? So the nominate a trainer form is on the nominate a trainer page, which is under tools and resources in the private trainer site. So a lot of the tools and resources that we talked about in this Hangout can all be found in the private trainer site. Monica's question is, I do some of my trainings through Google Classroom for my teachers, videos and activities. They are the students and I am the teacher. I push things out to them weekly and they participate. I follow up with individual trainings if needed. Can I count those as some of my trainings?
I can take this one. So what we define as training is very loose. It's very broad, and I think that's with respect to the fact that trainings can come in so many different shapes and forms. The outcome of it is really just common. That do people learn from it? Are people really understanding how to integrate these tools effectively? So the short answer to your question is yes, that's perfectly fine. Just when you submit your training, when you record that as a training in the end of the year recertification, just please make a note of it and making sure that you are able to show the impact and the results of that training that you did with those students in classroom, whether that's them being able to take a quick exit ticket, right, at the end of your training and how well they did on it. So as long as you're able to evidence and explain what people were able to achieve from the training, it's perfectly fine to do training in that style.
Mm-hmm. And I think that also answers Clinton's question: can podcasts count as training? We have a weekly EdTech podcast that focuses on Google tools.
Yeah, so Clinton, as long as you're able to demonstrate kind of the outcomes and results from this podcast that people did actually learn and were able to kind of acquire knowledge from it, that is perfectly acceptable as a training.
Christina's question is, I've created and maintain an EdTech website for my district. Would you recommend also setting up a personal website too?
Actually, we'll let the certified trainers handle this one since you guys talked a little bit about creating your own personal website. What would your guys' recommendation be to Christina?
I do the same thing. So I would recommend doing a personal website. If you do, for some reason, leave that district, or if you want to branch out and work with other districts, it may be good to just have your own, separate website that is available, because some things within your district would district. So having two, I think, definitely works.
All right, I think we're pretty much at the end of the question. There might be one more that we have time for. Just avoiding some of the repeat questions.
While you're looking for questions, just to add on to that, I was thinking it's nice to have that Google domain set up, because when you are training outside of district, that will be helpful when you're showing things like Google Classroom and things that you might need the attendees to log into with you so you can show them around. So just keeping that in mind as well.
That is absolutely correct, because I just did a training down in Palm Beach County last week, and nothing was more helpful than having my own training domain, because as Justin knows, that's how Justin and I know each other so well, through email. He's had to fix my accounts because my district has so many provisions and firewalls and lockdowns that, like, I was going to stay at work and just do this Hangout, and I couldn't even do that. So because the Hangouts are blocked by firewall, which is crazy because we're a Google district. But having your own training domain and being able to have your own permissions and get into the admin console is super, super helpful. So,
and you can get also your Google Apps admin certification as well through that. Even though, I mean, having the ability to have your own domain is great, because now I can show the student and teacher side simultaneously. And that was something that really helped the teachers in my district, because seeing what their students see.
Great. Well, I don't want to repeat any questions that have already been asked, and I think we're pretty much exhausted them all. So with that, we are also at time. So with that, thank you guys, everyone, so much for joining. Again, welcome to the community. Thank you to the three presenters as well, Louis, Jessica, and Crystal. And we wish you guys nothing but the best as you guys embark on this new journey working with educators and working with Google for Education. So again, thank you very much for all the amazing work that you have been doing and that you will continue to do. With that, from Justin and I, thank you and good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.